As Lee Ji-yoon sees Kim Young-sik is trying to kill them, she points her sword at him and says, if he has gone crazy, that he is trying to kill his own team members, just because he thinks they have taken something from him. Kim Young-sik is driven by anger. He tells Lee Ji-yoon to stop spouting bullshit and come at him. By saying this, Kim Young-sik launches a flame attack at her. Lee Ji-yoon slashes the flame with her sword. By seeing this, Kim Young-sik has gone totally mad and said to Lee Ji-yoon that his powers has already reached another level. And if she thinks that she can defeat him with a factory-made sword, Lee Ji-yoon then rushes towards him by cutting all the fireballs with her sword. Eventually, Lee Ji-yoon reaches to Kim Young-sik as she attacks him with her sword. Kim Young-sik blocks it easily with the leviathan. But for the flames of Kim Young-sik, she had to fall back. The flames to Kim Young-sik gets very intense, and it takes a form of a bird. He then tells Lee Ji-yoon that taking a fight with him is a big mistake, as she cannot beat him using brute force, and even if she uses a sneak attack, that will not be of any use, as she will be burned to ashes by his flames. Lee Ji-yoon also gets a bit scared, as she also knows that she is no match for Kim Young-sik. But she thinks it's too late for Het to turn back, so she decides to fight until she dies. After that, Kim Young-sik attacks with his flames. Lee Ji-yoon also rushes towards him. While she was rushing forward, she notices that the flames are going to hit Seo Yoon-ho, so she falls back and goes to protect Seo Yoon-ho. While protecting him, a fireball hits her arm and the sword falls from her hand. Lee Ji-yoon also falls on her knees and is completely defenseless. The flames to Kim Young-sik has surrounded the both of them and is slowly moving towards them. As the flame is about to hit them, suddenly Lee Young-hak appears and gathers all the flames in the room on his palm and vanishes them. He pats at Lee Ji-yoon's head and says that she has done a good job. Kim Young-sik gets shocked, and by pointing the sword at Lee Young-hak, he asked him who is he and what has happened to his flames. Lee Young-hak replied that he is here to pick Lee Ji-yoon up and be her master. After that, we can see Seo Yoon-ho is lying on a hospital bed. He suddenly wakes and sees that the guild leader is sitting beside him. As Seo Yoon-ho wants to get up, the leader tells him to stay still and not to move around too much. He also says that one of the guild members saw him passed out in the warehouse and that's why he is here. The leader says that he has inhaled too much smoke, but luckily, the members responded quickly, or else it would have been dangerous if they didn't find him earlier. The leader then apologized to Seo Yoon-ho for that has happened to him. Seo Yoon-ho tells that there is no need for that and asked him about Lee Ji-yoon. The leader says that the team leader, Lee Ji-yoon, already woke up last night and is well. She is also discharged from the hospital. Her lungs didn't seem to be in good condition, but fortunately, it's not too serious. The leader also says that he is amazed to see Lee Ji-yoon can catch up to Kim Young-sik, and said that this incident will be further investigated by the association. Seo Yoon-ho was about to say that there was another person, but for some reason he didn't say it, and says that he and Lee Ji-yoon caught Kim Young-sik. The leader then said that they also found traces of clothes that seemed to be cut by a blade. And if they take this into account, there should be 3 of them at the scene. When the members found Seo Yoon-ho gets a bit nervous, and he remembers that when Lee Ji-yoon falls back to protect him, there was a blast of bright light. And then he saw a man who didn't have a weapon and was flaming brightly. By seeing him nervous, the leader asked him if he remembers anything. Seo Yoon-ho said the leader that How didn't remember anything. He keeps this a secret, because first he wants to talk to Lee Ji-yoon about this matter. After that, we can see Lee Ji-yoon, who is all patched up in bandages and is lying on her bed dreaming about Lee Young-hak's words. She then sits up and messages Lee Young-hak that how did he know that she was there. He replied that he was constantly watching her, and when he was chilling in the hallway he saw a fire break out somewhere near the warehouse and rushed. There Lee Young-hak then asked her that, will now she become his student? Lee Ji-yoon replied that she will. Lee Young-hak gets shocked to see that she accepted that so easily. While he was keeping an eye on Lee, Ji-yoon gets found that there is also a group that was also keeping an eye on Kim Young-sik. Lee Young-hak is clearing dungeons with the leviathan, the sword of Surtur. The leviathan also changes its shape as it finally meets its master. While he is looking at the leviathan, a message pops up which says that Lee Young-hak has surpassed the monster hunting limit, and his skills also level up. By seeing this message, Lee Young-hak gathers all the magic stones and puts them in a bag. He takes the bag on his shoulders and thinks that he should find a training place for his student. But there is a problem with training place as it is impossible to get one on sale. While walking, Lee Young-hak laughs because he has found a nice place that he can use for training. Then after a few days later, we can see Lee Ji-yoon and Seo Yun-ho is in a dungeon, killing goblins with fire powers. Lee Ji-yoon is observing Seo Yun-ho while he uses his powers. She then tells Haike that his mana consumption is too high, and the delay of his attack launch and the attack itself doesn't really align. She then advises him that he should only consume his mana based on what his opponent is, and also he need to know how to conserve and use mana properly. By hearing this, Seo Yun-ho gets depressed. By seeing him depressed, Lee Ji-yoon tells him that his power is indeed amazing, and maybe sooner or later he will surpass her. Seo Yun-ho gets shy and said to stop embracing him. He then asked her about the identity of the person who saves them at the warehouse. By hearing this, Lee Ji-yoon gets a bit tensed and asked him that if he has already told everyone about this. Seo Yun-ho replied that he didn't say it to anyone. Lee Ji-yoon then goes close to him and said Seo Yun-ho to hear very carefully as it is a very confidential. Seo Yun-ho nods his head and ensures her that he will not tell this to anyone. After that, Lee Ji-yoon says that the person is her master. By hearing this, Seo Yun-ho gets super curious and requests her to let him meet her master. Lee Ji-yoon sends messages to Lee Young-hak and asked where is he. She didn't see him today and is something going on? Lee Young-hak replied that he will leave the program starting today. He will send Lee Ji-yoon the location when it's ready and currently he is reviewing it. Lee Young-hak tells her to take rest as she was overdoing herself while training her swings before. Lee Young-hak feels all things are going good, and he need to only focus on this current matter. Choi Jin-wook, the former guild leader of the Comet Guild, which is also one of the top 3 guilds in Korea. He was once a popular ranker, however. Things turned upside down when both of his arms was cut off by monsters. He's the one who built the players' training ground. He used his very own money to build it. However, his reputation and fame is slowly disappearing. And now, his training ground is nothing but an abandoned place. Before the training ground was still popular, it would be fully packed at this time. But presently, it is now empty, and Lee Young-hak worries because the equipment here is fully covered in dust. But it seems the equipment is clean. Lee Young-hak calls if anyone is there or not. The training manager replies, "Who is it?" Lee Young-hak says he came here to check the training grounds. The manager tells him that we are not accepting guests right now. The manager states that he seems like a newbie, and if he is looking for a guild he came to a wrong place and asked him to leave. Lee Young-hak utters that it's fine and he wants to check what's on the upstairs. The manager gets angry and repeats that there is nothing and he may leave this moment. Lee Young-hak states that he wants to buy this place with the equipments, including. The manager's face becomes furious and says him not to fool around and leave. Lee Young-hak tells the manager that he is not fooling around. He just wants to have a conversation with him, which is about Kangman-sik. A year ago, there was a dungeon that ordinary players cannot easily get into. Only the Comet Guild could explore the depths of the dungeon. That dungeon is the Andromalius' hideout. Deep within is full of loots and surely a good place to hunt as it gives a lot of money. Choi Jin-wook has tried to clear that dungeon multiple times, to the point where he was getting impatient. Afterwards, he worked together with the Comet Guild members, along with Kang Man-sik. As a result of their hardship, Kang Man-sik became the guild leader of Comet Guild, while Choi Jin-wook, the training manager, says he shouldn't have trusted Kang Man-sik. Somehow he managed to escape, and they are responsible for this horrible state of his arm. What can I even do to them if I am like this, Choi Jin-wook conveys. Lee Young-hak thinks in his mind that Andromalius' hideout is actually the easiest dungeon among the 72 dungeons. If Kang Man-sik had cleared the dungeon and somehow didn't decided to betray him, the appearance of the 4th dungeon in Korea would have been delayed. Choi Jin-wook intervenes, saying that there's no point taking a look at this building. Lee Young-hak investigates that does he meant by it. The manager explains that Kang Man-sik and the Comet Guild are roaming somewhere around here, so can he sells this building to him. Lee Young-hak replies that he is a seller and he has a buyer, so there would be no problem and there's no one stopping him doing that. Choi Jin-wook informs him that the Comet Guild will be a nuisance. Those bastards are the one who stopped the players from coming here. Lee Young-hak reassures the manager that there's nothing to worry about, and he should be the one taking care of the things. Choi Jin-wook tells that a building without a guest will make it hard to pay for the bills. Then both of them goes to the 2nd floor of the building. Lee Young-hak thinks that the reason why he came to see Choi Jin-wook is for his training grounds. But another reason for it is to catch Kang Man-sik. Of course, Kang Man-sik won't be alone, so he will just wait till he comes to Choi Jin-wook. On the other side, the team leader enters the association to report something with his subordinate Seo Yun-ho. Seo Yun-ho asked Lee Ji-yoon did something happen yesterday. Lee Ji-yoon seems irritated with Lee Young-hak and thinks within herself, I should practice my swordsmanship skills today. You're telling me to come right now? Ugh, if you told me that it was ready in advance, then it would have been fine. Seo Yun-ho investigates if she is thinking about the master of hers. The question startled Lee Ji-yoon. Lee Ji-yoon thinks that it was close and she don't get why Yun-ho is so attached to Young-hak. She thought he was trying to hide his skills, but now it just seems like he wants to reveal it to someone. Lee Ji-yoon asks Seo Yun-ho to wait here and she will head inside and submit the report. Lee Ji-yoon introduces herself to the association and states that she is in charge of investigating the rising number of gargoyles. The association consists of investigators, the executive staff and the board members, and the Comet Guild's lead Kang Man-sik. Kang Man-sik announces to start the meeting. Lee Ji-yoon was shocked to see Kang Man-sik as he shouldn't be here. So what is he doing here? Lee Ji-yoon concludes her report. Kang Man-sik investigates, so now that she have explained the reason of the abnormalities, is she implying that this is caused by some sort of snake at the center? Lee Ji-yoon replies that yes, as we investigated the incident as soon as possible, and we can confirm that there was an unusual entrance to go to the depths of the dungeon. If we don't take action quickly, something dangerous might happen. And in addition, the person behind the damages and the abnormal phenomenon in the dungeon seems to be connected to the incident. She encourages the association to make a plan as soon as possible. Kang Man-sik gives death glare to Lee Ji-yoon and asks her is she capable of taking responsibility of what she is saying as she is the head of the investigation team, which startled Lee Ji-yoon. Kang Man-sik illustrates that clearing a dungeon is not that simple. Many people's lives are at stake here. Can she take responsibility if something happens in the middle of clearing? Kang Man-sik says that he is not implying that Lee Ji-yoon is wrong, but says to take a look at the bigger picture here. Kang Man-sik goes near Lee Ji-yoon and tells her that each and everyone is fighting the best as they can for their lives. Shouldn't we be the one who's looking after them? He says for now, let's arrange a new investigation team so that we can better understand what really happened. And once it's clear, then it's our time to move. And with that the meeting came to a halt. Lee Ji-yoon realizes that this association is just blinded by money and making ties with other guilds, and it is something that she cannot handle on her own accord. Lee Ji-yoon sends a message to Young-hak saying to help her regarding this Andromalius's hideout, and Kang Man-sik attended that meeting today. Lee Young-hak didn't expect that Kang Man-sik will attend such an important meeting, and he conceives that it might be because he saved Lee Ji-yoon. Kang Man-sik probably caught Lee Ji-yoon's attention as she mentioned that the dungeon needs to be cleared. Lee Young-hak thinks Lee Ji-yoon would rather go alone if no one wants to go there. But if they go there, if their current abilities, they are as good as dead. Lee Young-hak decides that he should go the dungeon and sends a message to Lee Ji-yoon saying he would call her soon. Later. At the Comet Guild, we can see the Comet Guild's team, one leader Han Soo-yeon, has heard the news from his subordinate that a person has gone to the Choi Jin-wook's training center. The leader didn't give a thought about it, and said that it may be some civilian who entered there without knowing anything. She then told her subordinate to solve this matter like the last time they did, and also says not to bother her with this kind of small work. The subordinate then says that it seems a little strange, so they shouldn't just let it go. And from what he heard, the person stayed inside for almost half a day. From this, it seems likely that the person is a player. For now, go and intimidate them as usual. Also, find out what they heard from Choi Jin-wook, the team leader Han Soo-yeon said. In the meantime, Lee Young-hak is at Choi Jin-wook's training center. He is sitting them, enjoying his drink, as there is no one to disturb him. While he is enjoying his coffee, Choi Jin-wook comes to him and asks if he isn't bored of coming here every day, as he already told him that he is not selling this place. Lee Young-hak said that he will eventually do that. After saying that, he gets up from the seat and says that he has a good rest and now he will take his leave. Choi Jin-wook then said, if he is busy, that he is going so soon today. After hearing this, Lee Young-hak said to Choi Jin-wook that if he should stay behind, if he is feeling lonely. Choi Jin-wook gets a bit embraced and tells Lee Young-hak that if he is leaving, he should leave quickly. After that, Lee Young-hak leaves, saying that he will be coming tomorrow. As he leaves, the subordinate of Han Su-yeon approaches him. They both then goes into a cafe, and the subordinate gives Lee Yong-hak his visiting card. By seeing the behavior of the man, Lee Yong-hak gets that the man has come to him with a motive, so he tells the man to get straight to the point as he is busy today. The man said that they would like to support him, whom they see has growth potential, by offering a 6-month pass to the best training facility in the country. By hearing this, Lee Yong-hak says that he is not interested in it. The man gets confused and asks him for an explanation. Lee Yong-hak then clears his statement that he is not interested in it, as he finds it a bit suspicious, because as an F class he can't even join a guild. So what kind of potential did they see in him? Lee Yong-hak then gets up and said to the man that he feels like that he has been mocked, and it's quite unpleasant. He then says to the man that as he has nothing more to say, so he will be taking his leave. After saying this, Lee Yong-hak walks straight out of the cafe. The man calls him from behind, but he didn't respond to the man's call and quickly walks out of the cafe. As Lee Yong-hak is walking on the road, he thinks that the man will surely threaten him, as he has provoked him a bit. He then takes out of his phone and messages his disciple, Lee Ji-yoon, to come to the dungeon at tomorrow night. On the other hand, Lee Ji-yoon and Seo Yun-ho is raiding a dungeon together. Lee Ji-yoon is training Seo Yun-ho. But after a while of training, Seo Yun-ho gets tried and requests Lee Ji-yoon to take a short break. By seeing the condition of Seo Yun-ho, Lee Ji-yoon also agrees to take a short break. The two of them take shelter under a tree. Seo Yun-ho sits on the ground and pants heavily. By seeing this, Lee Ji-yoon puts a cool cloth on his head. From this, Seo Yun-ho gets a bit cool and thanks her. Lee Ji-yoon puts a nice smile and tells him that he doesn't need to be so formal with her. By seeing her so happy, Seo Yun-ho asked her if something good happens to her. By hearing this, Lee Ji-yoon asked him that why he thinks that way. Seo Yun-ho replies that she seemed a bit down since she came back from the association. But she looks cheerful today, and also he even got a bit worried when he saw her laughing while mining the magic stone earlier. The main reason she is in a good mood today is because of Lee Yong-hak's message. But she didn't want to tell this to Seo Yun-ho, so she avoids this, and tells Seo Yun-ho that resting time is over, and now they should be going. After that, at the nighttime, we can see Lee Yong-hak is traveling on a bus. While sitting on the bus, he thinks about the man of the Comet Guild. He gets a bit surprised that the man didn't do anything. While thinking about this, he has arrived at his destination. He then shows the card to the bus censor and steps out of the bus. He then gets into the dungeon and looks around. As he was looking around at that time, Lee Ji-yoon comes and greets him. She then starts to tease him. Lee Yong-hak gets a bit annoyed and tells her to drop all this foul talks and asks her about her training. Lee Ji-yoon makes a disappointed look and replies that she have been training diligently, just as he instructed. But she is not seeing any progress. By hearing this, Lee Yong-hak tells her to come with him. They then comes in front of a mountain. As they gets there, Lee Yong-hak starts to search for something. After a while, he finds it and pushes a button-like thing on the mountain. As he pushes it, blue light starts to appear from it, and the both of them gets teleported to a cave. By seeing this, Lee Ji-yoon gets surprised and asked him if this is the same place that he showed her the last time. Don't compare it to those bonus stages where only measly goblins appear, Lee Yong-hak said. After that, the ground starts to shake, and Lee Yong-hak said that it is coming. Lee Ji-yoon gets scared and asked Lee Yong-hak that what is coming. Lee Yong-hak didn't says anything, as a huge green monster come in front of them with a loud roar. By seeing the huge monster, Lee Ji-yoon takes a step back and asked Lee Yong-hak that what is this. Lee Yong-hak said to her that she should address him as master when they are training. She understands it and asked him to tell about the monster. Lee Yong-hak says that it is a cyclops, which is stronger than 3 ogres combined. He then asked her if she is ready to fight it. By hearing this, Lee Ji-yoon gets scared and says how she will fight against this monster. Lee Yong-hak gives a deathly smile and tells that before teaching her the ultimate move, he wants to test the skills of his dear disciple. Lee Ji-yoon gets nervous and says that she cannot even handle an ogre on her own. So how in the world she is supposed to beat that monster that is more than 3 times stronger than an ogre? Lee Yong-hak then asked, wasn't it she who wanted to get stronger, and that's why she followed him around with ironclad determination? Lee Ji-yoon gets a bit shy and says that she didn't thought it to be this extreme. Lee Yong-hak also asked her that who said that she cannot defeat an ogre alone, and if she thinks herself as a B grade.